Welcome. We will begin shortly, and for now, 4 quick reminders. First, please turn off your cell phone ringers. Second, you can take all the pictures you like, but please no flash photography. Third, we ask that you remain seated throughout the ceremony. And finally, please take a minute now to look around and check for the emergency exit nearest you. In case of an actual emergency, we ask that you stay calm and safely evacuate. If there is a fire alarm, please don't use the elevators, but evacuate through the stairs. We'll start in a few minutes. The ceremony is now beginning.
Welcome. I'm Agustin Rayo. I'm MIT's Dean of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences. Graduates, we are here today to honor your accomplishment. Many of you have traveled a long way to get here because you come from all over the world, but also because of the obstacles you've had to overcome to get to this moment. Some of you have overcome financial adversity. You've all had to overcome the COVID era. And many of you have had to overcome intellectual setbacks and awkward meetings with your advisors. But you have all worked hard, harder than you thought possible. And you're all here today. Many of you will leave MIT with collaborators who will be part of a lifelong intellectual journey. Many of you will leave MIT having crafted ideas that will shape your careers. And I hope that you will all think of yourselves as part of the MIT family for the rest of your lives. We are joined today by your loved ones and mentors, and we thank them for their unwavering support. We are also joined by our student speaker, Mark Adenoff. Mark is graduating from our PhD program in History, Anthropology, and Science, Technology, and Society, and he's the Chief of Staff of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. Mark is a remarkably gifted scholar. He's committed to bridging the gaps between cutting-edge historical scholarship, public engagement, and public policy. Mark, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone for coming today. I see many parents assembled here in hopes of answering one question many of them have been trying to ask for years. Why did you do this thing? Why did you pursue that degree? You had so much promise. Law school seemed so wise. Maybe just getting a job. And then you came all the way to MIT to do that School of Humanities and Arts and Sciences thing, and social sciences thing. For many parents, it's not a hostile question, but a nervous one. One about their child embarking on something by definition distinct, to figure out a novel research question. It's a question many of our undergraduate students ask, why are you studying what you're studying? It's a question our advisors ask, why are you doing this? Though they mean it in confusion that you have gone down a rabbit hole that does not comport with the original plan. In this context, it is asked sometimes lovingly and sometimes with a note of concern. It's actually the question our peers ask us most in program seminar, though in coded ways. What is the thing you are actually trying to do? I remember my undergraduate advisor warning me that a part of graduate school is extraordinarily lonely because you need to figure out something that no one has ever thought was important enough to devote multiple years of their life to figuring out. He told me it's an isolating journey to burrow so deeply into just one question. I know I struggled to communicate with my civilian friends and family what I was doing every day as a graduate student. A tremendous amount of jargon from far too many subdisciplines became a necessary set of scaffolding for me to just think my own thoughts, and I really struggled with that. Today, we reflect on why we did this thing, why we pursued an advanced degree from SHASS. Let me give 3 distinct answers to why I did, in addition to the privilege of wearing these really great robes. First, I needed to understand how the American state worked. History is and has proven time and again, to be an incredibly useful explanatory apparatus. This is a self-evident claim. Of course, history explains, but historiography is what proved even more useful to me. For humanists and social scientists, the critical problem is knowing where to look to explain historical change. How, for example, did a thing called the New Deal happen in the United States? Was it about unions organizing or US intellectuals importing British ideas about progressive reform? Did it rely on the haphazard nature of American pragmatism, a smattering of programs to see what worked? or the power of one Southern voting bloc to ensure an American racialized caste system remained in place? Was the New Deal state actualized through cultural narratives of belonging or through IBM computer systems that could suddenly treat the population as data, each citizen identified with a social security number? My favorite explanation of the New Deal is that it is a system of federal grants to states to hold together a distributed federal system by using those dollars as carrots and sticks. And as we say at conferences, feel free to ask me more in the Q&A. 4 days after defending my dissertation in the HASTS program, I joined the Biden administration, first as a senior advisor, and then as the chief of staff in the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. As the manager for a team of over 140 extraordinary civil servants, political appointees, and subject matter experts, charged with laying out and coordinating a progressive policy agenda for and through science and technology, I am glad every day I am a historian. The New Deal historiography tells me where to look to make lasting change. I think a lot about the strings that are attached to federal money when working with a team to build national guardrails on AI systems that violate civil rights, or to incentivize data collection about the next pandemic. Historicizing technology has proved particularly valuable. STS teaches a recurring lesson that technology hides people, the human labor that makes technical systems function. The problem is not whether the autonomous vehicle is going to hit one pedestrian or 5, but the rich social world in which the car exists. As Leo Marx, the great MIT cultural historian who passed away earlier this year, warned, the way technology has been imagined, quote, relieves the citizenry of the onerous decision-making obligations and intensifies their gathering sense of political impotence. A card-carrying humanist should know how to find the people. Second, if you ask me why I'm here, I will also say I stayed in graduate school because I was afraid. During our time in graduate school, we have witnessed a global rise in fascism, a stunning inaction on climate change, a pandemic that has killed 6.3 million people, including 1 million Americans, and it has been punctuated by mass shootings, collective outrage at the public murder of unarmed black men and women, and totally unacceptable treatment of immigrants, including on this campus. Graduate school was a place for me to learn new solidarities so that the fear would not be so paralyzing. That meant marching and teach-ins. It meant recognizing the power of unions. And an older generation passed down some important lessons, even dusting off the old classics like how to protest Henry Kissinger. I found this period of uncertainty foregrounded values. Suddenly, the Institute was having conversations about what it meant, about what that we should be trying to preserve or to build. For me, that meant making a case for the right to vote, the right to clean air, the right to freedom from state murder. It also meant preserving what mattered most about the university, the right to think, to wonder at complex and beautiful problems, to revel in that beauty. It fell to us to vigorously protect and advance the university and the pursuit of knowledge. Amidst all of these threats to American social life, I also found myself, my peers, and the MIT faculty fearful of the harms that we might cause, and the harms of our research and of our ideas themselves. We have good reason to be fearful. Historically, graduates from this ceremony have a long track record of hubris with pretty devastating consequences. Collectively, we have grappled with some of the more unsavory legacies of MIT's social science, from Francis Amasa Walker's eugenics to Walt Rostow's modernization theory. A certain humility may be in order. And if I were giving the commencement speech at Stanford's computer science department, I would likely give a full treatise on hubris. But having left MIT, the thing that worries me so much about SHASS and the students coming out of SHASS is a paralyzing sense of fear, that the crises are too big to handle and that our tools are insufficient, that the computer scientists down the hall have all the real power. This sense of powerlessness can come from the faculty, a faculty I adore, but who increasingly talk about themselves as objects of and not agents of the university system. I hope that our time in graduate school during multiple intersecting crises allowed us as both introspective scholars and overlapping communities to reflect on the world we are trying to build and the values we are seeking to advance. Which brings me to my third and final point. For many of us, we pursued a PhD because we had to, or a master's degree because we had to. The thing we are doing at its best can be a vocation. As teachers, as researchers, this scholarly way of being can be a calling. There are things I needed to know. The colleagues have been excellent, the mentors were wise and kind, but I needed to figure something out, and I needed a community to do that collective work. For those in this room for whom today is a reaffirmation of your vocation, let me end with a plea. Do the work so others can stand or sit where you are today. The university system is not on sure footing. Funding has disappeared, jobs are increasingly limited, scholarship requires a faster turn for less ambitious research, and all scholars in the humanities and social sciences will make compromises to prove their relevance and their utility. But please, please stand up for the ability to pursue a research question for its own sake. Protect the privilege to wonder, to follow a strange, nagging feeling that could lead to quite a lot of work and sitting here today. We owe that to each other. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. We now turn to the conferral of degrees. For that purpose, the faculty of the School of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences is declared convened. So Mark will be the first to be recognized. After that, we'll turn to the conferral of master's degrees. And finally, we'll proceed to the conferral of doctoral degrees and the investiture of academic hoods, which identify their bearers as members of the academy. I'm now proud to introduce MIT's newest scholars. With their graduation today, the faculty of this institution recognize their achievement and welcome them as peers.
Investing the hood for the Doctor of Philosophy on behalf of the program in History, Anthropology, and Science, Technology, and Society, Professor Graham Jones, the Director of Graduate Studies and Professor of Anthropology. Mark Adenoff, Doctor of Philosophy. Course 14, Economics, Master of Applied Science in Data Economics and Development Policy.
Raul A. Castro Corona. Janice O. Hamida.
I think we need to wait for our economics hooder.
I'm so sorry.
Masters. So no hood. So I made a. Of course.
Sorry.
Sui Yuan Han.
Go ahead.
Ashley Vickery.
Course 17, Political Science, Master of Science in Political Science.
In Hee Kang.
Course 21, Humanities, Master of Science in Comparative Media Studies.
Emily Grandjean. Tomás Andrés Guarna. J. Jager Hawk. Allison Lanier. G.R. Marvez.
Course 21W, Writing, Master of Science in Science Writing.
Zen Humayun.
Course 24, Linguistics and Philosophy, Master of Science in Linguistics.
Devon Brett Denny.
Please give one more round of applause for our master's degree recipients. Investing Hoods for the Doctor of Philosophy, on behalf of the Department of Economics, Professor Glenn Ellison, Department Head, and Associate Head Arnaud Costino. Exciting.
Pedro Bessone Tepetino. Héctor Blanco Fernández. Ari Bronsoler. Daniel Clark. Mary Gong. Aaron Saul Goodman. David Hughes. Antoine Levy. Jeremy Myrovich. Jacob Moscona. Matthew Ridley. Kartik Shastri. Patrick Andre Schwartz. Johannes Tufkuri. Pierre-Luc Vatry. Shan Yixiang Wang. Michael Bo-Lin Wong. Samuel Garrica Young.
Investing Hoods for the Doctor of Philosophy on behalf of the program in History, Anthropology, and Science and Technology and Society, Professor Graham Jones, the Director of Graduate Studies and Professor of Anthropology.
Richard Alexander Faydock. Jiahui Li. Luisa Hayes Castro.
Investing Hoods for the Doctor of Philosophy on behalf of the Department of Linguistics and Philosophy, Professor Daniel Fox, Department Head.
Neil Banerjee. Itai Basi. Elise S.B. Newman.
Investing Hoods for the Doctor of Philosophy on behalf of the Department of Political Science, Professor David Singer, Department Head.
Matthew Franklin Kansian. Andrew Halterman. Shi Yao Liu. Zhou Chris Peng. Sarah Christina Plana. Eric Andrew Hustad Sand. Rachel Elizabeth Teacott. Mein Duc Trin.
Please give one more round of applause to our PhD graduates.
With this, we conclude the degree conferral ceremony and the investiture of doctoral hoods. I now invite the faculty to join me in congratulating our master's degree candidates and welcoming our doctoral graduates to the Academy.
Thank you. Please remain seated until the faculty have completed their procession, and then we invite you to join us for a reception in the Winter Garden. Last one out the door. You can go.